my next guest tonight is an outspoken Democratic supporter who has spent the last few weeks campaigning for Vice President Al Gore. Here with his take on this big election mess, please welcome Al Franken. I'm hoping that you will explain all of this to me and to all of us, because we're confused.
It's a mess.
It's a big mess.
It's a mess. We don't know who's going to be our next president. But when it's decided,
right,
whoever it is, we should all get behind that man.
Right.
You know, I'm for Gore, but if it's Bush, we should just get behind him, even though, you know, he was a business failure and a drunk till he was 40 and clearly did coke, you know, but the people, you know, the people will have spoken, and, you know, just, you know, I hate him and he's an idiot, but the point is,
you get behind him.
whoever it is.
Get behind him.
Whoever it is.
Now, what do you think about this debate about the butterfly ballot, the mistaken votes that people made in a Florida county for Buchanan? They voted for Buchanan. They did not intend to. Those were meant to be Gore votes.
This is in Palm Beach County, and a lot of old Jews left the booth thinking they voted for Gore, and now think they may have voted for Buchanan. And I live on the Upper West Side of New York, which is very Jewish, and a number of my friends have gotten calls like from their parents saying, "I think I voted for Hitler." You know,
Jeez.
so
Not
like
Hitler.
there's well, even Buchanan has said, look, these votes clearly were that I got there were, if they were clearly intended for Gore, he should get them, and there's no higher moral authority, of course, than Buchanan. And so I think they should let these people, you know, vote again, and quickly, before a lot of them are going to die very quickly. And I was talking to Adam about this. He was obsessing.
Adam Sandler?
Yeah, about the election. And in fact, he's going to do his next movie is going to be very political. It's going to be about a guy who's very alienated from the political process. So he pisses on a lot of the monuments.
That's the movie.
And then he falls in love and grows up. So it should be a big hit.
Now, what about Gore? Should Gore press on? People are going to be pressuring Gore. Do the you know, the good thing and just bow out at some point. People might start to pressure him. Should he keep going? Well,
you know, they talk about like Kennedy in 1960 or Nixon in 1960. You know, didn't protest what happened in
because that was
Chicago.
very close. Yeah.
Yeah, very different time. For example, in 1960 and 60s, you could have the president could have sex in the White House. So it's a totally different age. So there's really no comparison.
Yeah. Yes, the times we can't compare.
But you know, actually, we can't. We're not going to know for a while because they have to wait for these overseas absentee ballots.
Right.
And a lot of people assume that these are the Bush people are saying, well, these are military votes. Military people are very conservative. It's just that I did a USO tour last year, and I went to Bosnia and Kosovo, and a lot of the people, you know, Antoine Jones, you know, private, is not your typical country club Republican. So there's going to be, and also a lot of these, of these overseas ballots come from spies.
You think a spy vote really could change things?
Well, people don't realize this, but a lot of spies have Florida residency because winter's the off month for spies. And spies are notorious ticket splitters because they're fiscally conservative, but socially liberal. Like, for example, James Bond, very, very, very pro-choice.
It's true. Whoever wins, do you think these people are ready for the job? You know, Bush, Gore, are they ready to assume the mantle of...
Okay, let's look at him. Gore, when he was 22, graduated from Harvard, went to Vietnam even though he was against the war because he knew someone else from his town would have to go. Bush, his father got him into the Air National Guard and he didn't go for 17 months. When he was 30, Gore was a congressman, Bush, drunk. 35, Gore was a senator. Bush still drunk. Failure, losing money for his father's friends. Someone put it, here was a guy who couldn't find oil in Texas. But whoever it is, we should get behind him.
Do you, before we go, do you think that some pundits were saying that the race was so close, Bush was ahead in the polls just before the election, that it drew so close, some people think that the drunk driving, arrest maybe have affected from 1976 may have affected the election.
That might not have even been fair, if you go back that, because evidently, and I've heard this, that the sobriety test, he may not have been drunk, because the sobriety test in Maine at that time was pronounced subliminal. So he may not have been actually drunk at the time.
Right. Oh, Al, thank you very much for your fair and balanced view of
whoever it is.
Get behind.
Even if he's an idiot.
Al Franken, everybody. We'll be right back with Badly Drawn Boy.